Yo, what's up, y'all? It's been a minute. Welcome back with another installment of Black Man's Thoughts. I apologize for the long delay. Had a lot of stuff going on, but periodically I come in here and check upon, the channel or whatever. And as I get more subscribers, it'll be a lot more consistent, to be honest with you. If I get more interaction, I'll be a lot more consistent. So the interactions, the feedbacks, man, they help the consistency, of what's going on. So what we're going to talk about today, man, we're going to be in the NFL world today. Talking about my beloved Baltimore Ravens, where we at up to this point. August, what's the date? Was it the 23rd? So what's been going on, man? Of course, Lamar signed his contract. That was a 2-year beef. 2 years, beefing and trying to get this contract thing situated. That was a lot, man. That was a hell of a lot to deal with. That was a hell of a lot to read about. And I'm a fan, bro. You know what I mean? I'm invested in the players. I'm invested in the team. I read the articles, listen to the podcast. I'm on it 24/7, man. Really listening to my Ravens, man. It's really my one of my few passions, actually, is my Ravens, man. I don't think I have anything that kind of matches that except, boxing. Me watching boxing and stuff like that, man. But yeah, man, we signed Lamar Jackson. He got the contract that he felt deservingly. I felt like the Ravens got the value that they felt was deserving. I actually blame Lamar in that. You know what I mean? Just to be honest with you, I would never tell a man not to value himself. I would never tell a man what he can't or shouldn't be asking for. But at the same time, I feel like this deal could have been done a lot sooner. And I believe that the holdup was not on the Ravens. I believe that it was thoroughly on Lamar. You know what I mean? You read a lot of stuff, and a lot of reports was coming out that he wasn't even answering the phone. It's hard for somebody to negotiate and give you what you want if you're not answering the phone. What they say, closed mouths don't get fed, right? So it's like, I get it. He has business tactics or whatnot, but I think that there's a time and a place for everything. There's a way to be professional. But I don't know the details of it. You know what I mean? I do think that there was definitely some give and take on both sides. And at the end, they both got what they want. But I do blame how long it took on Lamar. But it's over with. Then after we get, right before Lamar, we get Odell Beckham. How do I feel about Odell? I'm happy. You know what I mean? It's a name. And if you've been following the Ravens as long as I have, you understand that. You understand that. I don't even know how this is supposed to work now. I'm in the turning lane. He gets in a lane that's not turning. Am I supposed to just go? But anyway. I feel like you've been following Ravens as long as I have, I'm sorry. But it's also, you know what I mean? Like, he adds a name. He adds a name to the history. He adds a name of relevance. So it's not like, it's the Baltimore Ravens and they still struggle with receivers. It's somebody to say, hey, Odell was able to trust him to go there. So if Odell can go there and he shines, then that means other names are going to start wanting to come here. And hopefully it can start being a destination and more friendly towards receivers. I think it was a give and take. I do think that they paid him significantly, but I think that they put themselves in opposition. Remember a few years ago, Hard was talking about if you don't want to come here and are you worried about his stats, we don't need you. Well, you know what? That shit bit him in the ass. You know what I mean? Because he ended up begging these receivers and paying them more. You may not physically beg with, verbally, but you sure as hell beg with that, overpricing or overpaying receivers, because now you're begging them to come here when they had, nobody else is offering them that high. So his mouth wrote a check that his ass couldn't cash, and we paid for it. Also, allowing Greg Roman to stay 4 years. 4 years. How do you, in an NFL that's geared towards passing, how do you allow 4 years to your MVP quarterback to be given peanuts as receivers? You know what I mean? Like, no matter if you feel like his best asset was the run, you have to think his other asset is he's a quarterback. And quarterbacks, no matter what type they throw the ball, you can't neglect throwing the ball if your best player on the field is the quarterback. I never understood that logic if you think rationally. You know what I mean? I do think that Harb shoulders 93% of the blame. The other 7% of the blame, maybe the other, Harb suffered like 85% of it. I want to say a good 10% of it goes to EDC because EDC drafted these damn players. But EDC came in after Harb. So what we have to understand that right now, Harbs has the power. But as you see over time, you can see a gradual balancing of powers because now it seems like EDC has a lot more power than he has ever before. How do you know that? The style of players. The style of players that was drafted were complete opposite of what, John was asking for. The only anomaly to that, to me, was the final year of Greg Roman when they said, we're going to give him everything we want to in order to, just get it over with, to see if this is going to work. And it didn't work. It failed horribly. So I think that right now there's a balance of powers. Of course, the edge is going to give to John because of seniority, but you can definitely tell that EDC has a lot larger voice. But he suffers a lot of this blunt because it's like, listen, bro, you fucking drafted Ben Mason. You drafted Stout. You drafted a lot of players that, you passed up on a lot of players. And then it's like you drafted an unproven Owe. You drafted a broken up Ojabo. And you didn't address 3 key positions in his tenure. EDC has, I can't say he's failed the receiver position because he actually has tried, but he definitely failed the outside linebacker position. He's definitely, he did a good job of bringing in MP, but to be honest with you, we really haven't had a very good developmental corner since what? Trayvon Young. You know what I mean? Or Darius Webb to me is balling. But Brandon Stevens isn't been working out. He shows flashes. You know what I mean? EDC has to bear a lot of the blunt because for the past 3 years, the best player on the field, the past 2 years, the best player on the field on defense has been mostly Marlon Humphrey and Calais Campbell. Well, a lot of times what's been happening is the best players on our team has been kind of coming from other players, other teams. So then it goes into what all these extra drafts. EDC seems to have missed on a lot more than he's made. Because if you're valuing drafts that much, then a lot of these should have been turned out. If not, you should have traded them to get talent of value. You know what I mean? You should get value over the picks of the maybes. So he has to suffer. And another percent of is Lamar. Because there's no way you're going to tell me that you're bringing in your own quarterback coaches to training camp. You got working with Tom House and Tom Brady's training camps. You're working with former quarterbacks and Josh Harris. You're working with Brent Urban, an NFL coach. You're working with all these players, and you're still struggling with deep ball accuracy. You're still struggling sometimes, being consistent on deep throws. You're still struggling on not getting the ball out of your hands quick enough and process and your decision making quick enough when it comes to quick reads. I can't blame him for the talent, but what I can blame him for, is not the talent that's causing him to hold the fucking ball when somebody's open. It's not the talent that's telling him that, hey, Mark Andrews is wide open, you overthrew him. The players that you have is wide open, you overthrew him, you underthrew him. It's not the players or the coaches that saying, hey, man, you haven't been able to finish. It goes on a systematic approach too because you're running your best quarterback up the middle. But the last 4 years have been a clusterfuck of why are you doing this? You know what I mean? There has to be a simpler way, and it seems like the Ravens overcomplicate shit. The receiver room is messed up. The O-line room is messed up. The outside linebacker room is messed up. Don't go sign a fucking right tackle from Pittsburgh and then put him at left tackle in a twilight of his years. I mean, that shouldn't be so hard to figure out. You know what I mean? You let go of Judon. You let go of, Houston, Ngakoue, Calais Campbell, but you don't replace them. You know what I mean? I think that, they overcomplicate things. So where are we right now? Well, we drafted some stud named Zay Flowers. Zay Flowers has been doing everything he has been asked to do, man. I mean, this guy has definitely showed up. And as good as Odell and as big as a name is Odell, all the reports are saying that when they're all on the field, there is no question that Zay Flowers is the best receiver on the field. And so far, looking at the highlights, looking at the preseason, I think that's an argument to be made. I think that, hey, that might be some validity to it. Now, that's a beautiful thing because we have some guy named Rashad Bateman. And Rashad Bateman, we keep hearing is a diva. He's mad because they drafted Flowers and brought in Odell, but this man hasn't said it himself. So I can't sit there and just put words in this man's mouth. But what I can say is that his job has gotten a lot easier. Because instead of going against the best cornerbacks going against Bateman or Andrews, and they're double guarding, or they got a high-low situation or a shadow situation going on, you now have to account for shit. We got this guy who's damn near unguardable in Zay Flowers, and we got some big name guy who can seemingly known for his catching and his being able to get open. And some guy named Odell. And don't forget, we have the, if not number one, the number 2 tight end in the league in Mark Andrews. And just for fun, we have some guy named J.K. Dobbins coming out of the backfield. And, you know what I mean? And if you're still feeling froggy, we have arguably the greatest athlete at quarterback maybe that's ever played the game, in Lamar Jackson. So, where are we now? We're another year sitting on potential. We're another year sitting on if it works. We're another year sitting on hopefully Hollywood and Bateman. And it's another year of hopefully Zay, Odell, and Bateman can stay healthy. And you know what I mean? It's almost like you can't even get excited because the last 3 years have been a whole bunch of fucking hopefuls that we got the squad to do something serious, and the things that stop us are injuries, and schematic issues. I don't see how John, hasn't gotten a large portion of the blame when you have some guy for the last 4 years that can't get the play in on time. And his quarterback is literally running to the line with 3 seconds on the clock, and he hasn't even been able to scan the field to see where the pressure's coming from. To me, that's completely, that's, you can't debate that. You can't argue that. That's uncalled for, man. That's a lack of coaching, man. That's a lack of, I'm forgetting the word, man, when he hasn't thoroughly, he's been out. It's a form of being out coached. When you haven't vetted the situation and been able to come up with a solution to a problem, you allowed your personal relationships and his friendship of Greg Roman and his coaching staff to cloud his judgment on, what's best situation for, his number one athlete, his position, his job. And his job is to coach and put the players in the best situation. And there's no argument on the face of the planet that tells me that, making sure that we have more time on offense by running the clock down to the least bit has that much value over a quarterback being able to make the right call at the line of scrimmage and being able to scan the defense before the play starts. You can't tell me that, being able to just to hold the ball, pound the ground, pound the run, is that much more efficient. And I know that it's not fact because we didn't win. I know that that's not fact because we didn't win and nobody else is doing it. So there go your proof. You know, offense. You know what I mean? Where are we now? You know what I'm saying? Offensive line. Let's get there. We have Ronnie Stanley. You know what I mean? I see what they're doing with Ronnie Stanley and they're keeping him out. But I have a counter argument on that. Let me ask you this. This man was out of football damn near for 2 years. He damn near played the whole season last year. He had a whole full off season of training, rigorous activity, and first time being able to have an off season in quite some time. And this is what, a year and a half, 2 years removed from the initial injury. Ronnie Stanley should be able to play without the fear of we need to protect his leg. And I get it, because if he got hurt, I would say opposite. I'll be honest with you. I'd probably be thinking opposite. But the opposite is, man, you treat him like a baby, and baby rapping, he's not giving 100%. He can't, because the idea is always in his mind that you could get hurt. He's going to get hurt. You know? So I don't like that. I don't like that issue. Another issue I'm having is Bate. You know what I mean? Bateman is another, it's just another year of another key piece that's coming back off the offseason that, you got to think, Bateman is practicing now. No, I'm sorry, we're still on the offensive line. My bad, ADHD. But, okay, let's go over. We have a rookie. I'm not going to butcher his name. We have a rookie. I believe is he from Oregon? That's a very long name. And a lot of the offseason, he was getting first-team reps. Preseason, got first-team reps. And everything I saw during the game is, hey, it's game time. And this is against, some backups, whatever. And a lot of times getting tossed around. You know what I mean? He has to develop that grown man strength. He's still a kid. You have to learn from time. He may look good in the drills and, pass block, has good feet, but it's like boxing, man. You can be technically sound. You can be very pretty and stuff in the ring with your footwork, with your combinations. But you face a motherfucker that can just crack like Wilder, it all goes out the window, bro. You face an Aaron Donald, no matter how good your quickness and your footwork is, how quick the feet is and how you can slide. If that dude put his hands on you and toss you back into the quarterback, man, that's a whole different issue. There's nothing that quick feet is going to help you with there. You know what I mean? So he has to be able to anchor. He has to be able to have some strength to his anchor. He's got to be able to handle that, because just like, there was times when you have last year Linderbaum. Linderbaum was getting handled by a lot of the stronger nose tackles, a lot of stronger tackles. He tackles, but what gave him the edge that I don't see in the rookie I'm talking about. I don't want to butcher his name, but he doesn't have what Linderbaum has, and that's the well-known wrestling background. Why is that important? Because it helps you get in position and leverage. So I think that Linderbaum, his secret weapon is he understands leverage at a mastery level. A mastery level. That's why he's so comfortable saying, hey, I come in here at 307. When my nose tackle I'm going against is 346 pounds. Or you can have a Mount Cody who's 360. But he understands low leverage and being low. Low man always wins. So he got Zeitler. You know what I mean? I don't know what the situation with Ben Cleveland is. I'm not done with the left guard. I don't want to double back on that. But Linderbaum, I think is good. We have McCary in there as well. The whole Moses thing is going to be interesting because Daniel Falele looks damn good, right or left. Honestly, he's definitely in our future plans. I would not be surprised if sometime soon, within a year or so, we hear an extension for Daniel Falele. I don't think they're going to let this big dude walk easy. At some point, we're going to pencil him in as the starter for the future. You can mark my words on that. But let's go back to left guard. We also have John Simpson. John Simpson came from the Colts. I think he had another stint somewhere else. I don't know if it was the Eagles or whatever. But he looked good. He looks real good in preseason. I think that from the preseason games, he solidified himself as the starter. You know what I mean? But that was all supposed to be given to the squirrel man, Ben Cleveland. You know what I mean? That's another one. That's Harb's guy. Now he's out there playing mostly at the tackle position, right tackle. But we all know he's stiff as a board. He probably can't even wipe his ass. So, that's the line. I think the line is decent, pretty good depth. We have some decent pieces there. Ricard, I don't think he's gonna make it. I don't think he should make it. The tight end position is we're 4 deep. We got a nice rookie. We got Kolar, who's looking amazing in preseason. We have Likely, who to me is maybe a budding star, and we have Andrews, who's consistently angry all offseason. All of a sudden, I don't know what the fuck that's about. Kind of odd, actually. But especially with all the love he's been getting. But the line, the receivers, Tylan Wallace, my goodness, man. I mean, this dude, he's making a place we may have to get him on the field. We really may have to get him on the field, bro. He's these back shoulder catches, man. That's some talent. That's timing. This isn't even with Lamar. This is with the backups, man. This is with the backups. So just imagine, man, if he can get on chemistry with Lamar, man, this may be somebody, man, that maybe worked out. I could see, hey, give him maybe another 2-year extension now, because this boy can play, man, and he's been on this team for 3-4 years now. Been good on special teams. Every time we put him in as a receiver, he's made contested catches. I think we may have to give this guy a real look. Running back position, just like tight end, we're stacked, bro. We're stacked. I think we're keeping 6 receivers. I think they're going to be Odell, Bateman, Zay, Aguilar, nice addition. Odell, Bateman, Zay, Aguilar, that's 4. Odell, Bateman, Zay, Aguilar, Tylan Wallace, Odell, Bateman, Aguilar, Zay, Wallace. I feel like I'm forgetting. Duvernay. I think that's going to be the 6 receivers. My man Duve, he's still balling too. Tight end, I think it's going to be Kolar. Andrews, Likely, Kolar, Locks. And I think this new guy, Vo something. I forgot what his name is. Forgive me, y'all. He's a rookie, so, let's see if he earns me to remember his name. But I think it's going to be hard-pressed to say, hey, you got JK, you got Gus, who's been mighty injured. But Jesus Christ, this guy, Justice Hill, is balling. And everybody forgetting this guy was very fast, but he was very known at Oklahoma State. Everybody's acting like, oh, wow, what is Justice Hill? Yeah, the first year he started. But as you see over the course of these last 3-4 years, every year he's gotten way better. And now this guy's he's running. That boy running with speed. With the boy hitting that hole. So now, then you got some guy named Keaton Mitchell. It's a problem. So I don't see how Ricard makes the team when you have somebody like this young tight end that's playing good, a Keaton Mitchell that's playing good, and a Tylan Wallace that's playing really good. And this new offense is more of a spread offense. So for you thinking that's what Keaton Mitchell, JK, Gus, hell, that's 4 running backs, 4 tight ends. They don't need a big fullback. And that's where we at with the offense, man. I'm going to come back with a separate segment with the defense, man. The 2003 Baltimore Ravens, man. You know what it is. Black Man's Thoughts.